Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time. As always, shout out to Lurks, our feral venerator of Sorain. Thank you very much for the support, and thank you to all of our Patreons who've been supporting us since we started, or very recently, no matter what. Thank you for the help.
A blowjob so intense it turns the tide of battle. A ginger serpent so massive and erect that it gags an entire city. A sul'dam getting a little hung up over her issues. And a little itsy bitsy spider coming softly from the shadows. So much happened in season 2 finale of The Wheel of Time that honestly, we can't cover it all in one episode. So today is all about the spoiler-free. Now, let's get into the big bussy blowout fantasy event of the season.
Why?
You are so proud of yourself right now. I can feel the waves of smugness right now coming off of you. I'm proud of you.
I didn't even last one sentence.
I know. Yeah. I could tell from the first, like, as soon as you said, I was like, oh no, this is going to be some shit.
Yeah, well.
Okay, more seriously.
Okay.
Should we start with a cold open?
Are we doing things in order? We should do things in order. Okay.
Oh yeah, a cold open happened.
I mean, it's just because the cold open is one thing we can mention and then never mention again because it's like...
Perfect.
3,000 years ago, in the Age of Legend, things happened.
Things happened. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
I hope we get a cold open, like, because we got one last season in episode 8. I hope this is like a continual thing. I love it. Yeah.
I love it. It's a nice way to have a little bit of Age of Legends every 8 hours.
Yeah. I would say my one itty bitty thing is that I would have liked the cold open to have lasted just a bit longer. I loved what we got. Like, I have no critiques about that. But like the first season cold open, we got a pan out of the world as it was, and I would have liked to have seen like a bit of the eye of the world in that time as like immediately post-war. Very small critique, but I'm thinking that they've established a pattern, and I'm so excited for what we're gonna get next season. Like, what could it be? So
yeah, that's a very good point, because we have a panel like within the eye but not outside of it, and the last time we saw the eye there was the blight on it. So I'm curious how it would have looked like. Yeah,
that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. The old tongue sounds, I'm so impressed with how they've done it. It sounds great. Whoever's in charge of that whole process, it's fantastic.
It's really well done. It doesn't sound weird either. And even if it's a foreign tongue that nobody understands, you still get like the raw emotions of those characters. Like that, I really enjoy the dynamic between Luz, Therin, and Ishamael. There's really this, like, Ishamael feels betrayed, and Luz is still his friend in a way, and Ishamael just wants his friends to join him to the dark. Yeah, I really like that dynamic. It feels a lot more complex than in the books.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the first X-Men movie, where we get that beginning scene, that opening scene between Magneto and I was going to say Gandalf, and that is not right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are the same person, but sure.
Between Magneto and Professor X. And just like, it's a very short scene, but you get so much, like, it feels like there's so much history in it. And I mean, that's acting, like and this kind of felt the same way, where there's obviously so much history between Luz, Therin, and Ishamael. And, like Camille said, the betrayal on Ishamael's face was real.
Yeah. Is that why he's the betrayer of... No, it's not. I will say one thing I really, really loved about the cold open was the confirmation that the rings that everybody has are just like an Aes Sedai Age of Legends thing, because I'm like, is it a Forsaken thing? Is it part of like the club? But no, it's just an Aes Sedai thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all had it. It's really nice also seeing that circle. Like at first we feel like there's only 8 people, and when we pan out, we see so many people on the different floors. I thought it was a nice shot. I thought.
Yeah. All around. Good stuff.
Anything else cold open?
No.
Nah.
So I just wanted to mention that after that, the introduction got back, like the credit scene, which I was very surprised about. It's exactly the same that last season. I didn't think we would have it.
It was nice to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily miss the opening because I'm not big on opening credits usually, unless they're like an event. I liked it. I didn't quite miss it this season, but I did enjoy seeing it back for this episode.
Yeah, I hope they don't keep it going though.
I'm actually curious why they brought it back, because
Finale.
Yeah, there's some fun theories about that, because it's the theme of this credit scene is Moraine theme. And since it's also about channeling and these kind of things, there's a whole part in the season where Moraine can channel, and when she gets back her powers, the intro comes back. So I thought it was a nice touch. I don't know whether it's related or not. It could be completely coincidental. We'll see. I kind of want to see that intro change, and we didn't see it change. So who knows?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that deep. I just think they liked it.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
And they included it because it's the finale. I mean, either way, I was tickled to see it because I like the opening credits. I don't know, they're just real pretty, and I like pretty colors. So
Yep.
Yeah, I think they're really pretty. I want them as a tapestry. I have some friends that bought it as a tapestry.
Ooh, nice.
Fancy.
It's like $70. It's just like a woven blanket, but it looks really good because it's like literally just the image of the Aes Sedai, and
$70 is not as wasn't expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's like a 5x7, so like it's not huge or anything, but it's like good for a wall.
Nice.
Yeah.
Or for a blanket.
Yeah.
I would never. Women on me?
That would be weird.
In this economy?
In this economy.
So, now that we are back to the main part, what do we want to start with? Because there's a lot going on. We need to start somewhere.
And I was going to say, should we start with like something small, but like everything is kind of big.
So, everything is actually kind of small but connected in a way.
But connected, yeah.
And then at some point, like at the finale, like everyone merged together, I guess.
Yeah. Do we want to do Lan and Nynaeve? Not Nynaeve. Lan and Moraine.
Yeah, we could, because I'm actually pretty separated from the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about we do them first?
I love to do Moraine.
I mean, honestly, I loved it.
Yeah.
All I was thinking about when they were traveling through the ways with Lanfear was like how they are so clearly out of their depth. And they both know it. Like Moraine is testing Lanfear a little bit, but like it's not happening. It's not happening at all. Lanfear is like so in control of this entire situation. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, you are so good at twisting your words in knots. Okay, I was actually confused because Lanfear mentioned that I can see it in you. Talking about Moraine, having gotten her power back.
Right.
How?
I think that's something that the certain people have, kind of like a talent in the books, because some of the Damane have it.
So you think Lanfear has this talent, and it's not a different way from the Forsaken? Or just Moraine gives a different vibe?
Yeah, I think it's not really a vibe. I think it's like literally she can see that she can channel.
I think, yeah, I feel like she was being literal when she said, like, I can see it in you. That's kind of how I took it too, because we did have the one Damane that was pointing out the women. Yeah. And so that that makes sense. I don't know.
Kind of like, you know, how in the books they have that mental trick of like not being able to, not sweating or something. I think it's just something that anybody could learn, but no one's ever really like thought about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it could be something they've lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, no, I did love that line of "you're so good at twisting your words in knots," because obviously Lanfear is not bound by any oaths, and she thinks it's stupid that all of them are, but she's very good at like plucking out exactly what is actually being said.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just I mean, Lanfear's face just before and like immediately after yeeting. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Just yeeting Moiraine and Lan out of the gate. First off, the opening of the gateway is like literally like it's nothing to her.
Flawless.
It is Elle Woods. What? Like it's hard?
It's like it's hard. Yeah. That's absolutely it.
It is 100% that.
Yeah. And just like she has this like wide-eyed like excitement, like, whoo, here we go. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I love Lanfear.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's pretty much the highlight of the season for me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, taken as a whole.
She was fantastic.
I'm still laughing at her eating Moiraine and Lan, like falling into the water and the sand.
I mean, I'd have done the same thing. Maybe not with Moiraine and Lan because I love them both, but like if it was somebody on the other side of the war that I was temporarily aligned with and I had that power, I would totally just yeet them the fuck out of the way gate like that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're done.
Bye.
Yeah.
how did we feel about the bond?
Oh, it was great.
It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a very beautiful scene. I was waiting for the war season for the two of them to finally have a discussion. And yeah, finally they get to talk. I really liked that Lan was aware of all of the doubts Moiraine has and how she doesn't want him to feel how weak she feels and how she has no idea what's going on. And I think to me, it felt like a change from Lan at the beginning of the season, because Lan at the beginning of the season, it feels like he still thinks that Moiraine has a plan. And by now, it seems like he finally gets that she doesn't have one.
Yeah.
I am still confused about the bond. Was it actually lost? Was this just like, how was it lost? When did that happen?
Yeah.
That's good questions.
Like, I just don't know. I'm not bothered by it. It was a good piece of TV. Like, I have several parts in here where I'm just like, I don't necessarily know how that worked, but it's good TV, so I don't care. And you know what? More book fans should maybe take that attitude. Not talking about anybody that's written anything about the Wheel of Time, but
Michael Livingston is a fantastic author who's worked very hard on...
That's true. We love Michael Livingston.
He's great.
We love the work he did on the Wheel of Time books.
Fantastic.
So regarding the bond, it's true that it's unclear whether the bond was just masked or released. For a long time, I thought it was just masked. I could see Moiraine having released it right before going to the eye to ensure that Lan wouldn't die if she dies. It's not particularly clear, but I actually don't particularly care, because the moment where they connect again is so visually stunning.
Right.
Between the beach, between the weave, all the weave are so like very thin and very colorful, delicate.
Yes, they're very delicate, and all 5 powers were used.
Yeah.
So it was a very good scene. I'm not mad at it. I am just confused about a couple of things, but my confusion doesn't matter.
Yeah, indeed.
And I like that it's like normally this kind of scene, it would be like romantic, you know, like like the sweeping music and like the close-ups and they're getting closer and closer to each other. And like usually you'd be expecting, okay, they're going to kiss now. And that's very much not what's happening, but it's equally as moving. And I really appreciate the commitment to like displaying platonic relationships and platonic love specifically in that same sort of way.
Which we really need a lot more of in media.
It was cute forehead nuzzles. They had cute forehead nuzzles, and it was sweet.
It was so cute. It was so sweet. Like, they love it's just, they love each other so much. They care about each other so much. They were both willing to, like, kind of tear each other to pieces this season. Like, tear themselves to pieces, I mean, to protect each other. And, like, they went about it in the wrong ways, but they got there in the end. And this was, like, a very nice, I think, very nice payoff for all of that.
I love that they got also to talk about we were never equal. Mm-hmm. And Moraine confirming that what we knew is that she's always thought he was better than her. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like you're talking about the music or moving it's the same, like it's the Bond music, it's the Bond theme, and it's been coming back a few times for very intense water, I say moment. He was there for like putting the ring in the fire, and it was very sad. And now it's like it's still very moving, but in a more positive way, and I really loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was a great payoff. If you want to talk about payoffs in finales and how to do them right, not that I'm an expert in payoffs, but I think that the Moraine and Lan was just a great way to end the season and to end their arc specifically.
Yeah. Yes, James?
No, I just don't know why that... I don't know anything about payoffs. Like, that was just a weirdly, like... I don't know.
We are being very shady today.
I'm being shady like the shade under a magnolia tree. Just very subtle with little hints of floral spice.
He's getting real southern.
I do love that, like, no fucks mommy is back. When she said, I will let 1,000 innocent people die if there's even a chance that he will live. That's what it means to support him. You do understand that. And Lan's like, okay, guess, okay. I may be better than you, but I still do what I'm told. But
yeah,
I will. Do we want to talk about the whole Moraine using the one power against the ships?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I didn't have any notes for it, but
I mean,
I think it looked cool.
It looked really cool. And also people are just like, I can't remember who it was on Twitter, but they were like how did she do the mental gymnastics for it? And I'm like, she just convinced herself that her life was in danger because if the world ends, then yeah.
If Rand is stilled, the world ends.
Yes.
And therefore my life is in danger. Like,
it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
It's Moraine here.
Also, frankly, I didn't care. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was, I did like that she pulled an Azula and started firebending.
Yes.
Yes.
That was cool.
Extremely cool.
I don't know who that is.
And some people made fun of her dancing, but I thought it looked very beautiful.
It looked nice.
It felt a little bit like
it did.
Tai Chi routine, something like that.
Yeah, she's 70, 60 years old. She needs to stretch.
She needs to stretch it out.
It's for the right category of people.
Do some yoga.
Oh,
stretch them lady bussy powers.
Now we got do that yoga.
One thing that took me off a little bit at first was the Senshin suddenly appearing here. On rewatch, I'm guessing Ishamel just sent them here because he guessed that was going to be Lanfear's plan. But on my first watch, I was like, they're a bit fast for the CC. Where did they come from?
Yeah, I think it was Ishamael anticipating that Lanfear was going to be up to some fuckery.
Or it might have just been like regularly, like guards just there as they got closer to Foam.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like sentries or something like that.
Yeah, that's stationed. Stationed is the word there. The word I was looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could be that too.
Who else do we want to talk about next? Ishamael?
Ishamael and Lanfear.
My little Ishibu.
Their shenanigans.
I kind of want to leave some of Lanfear for the end with Moghedien.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
talk
about part of... Oh, can we leave the 4 seconds towards the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we can do that.
So how about Nynaeve and Elaine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interrogator Nynaeve was scary. I can feel her in my mind. It's like a bundle of sensations. All I have to do is push.
You know what it made me think of, James? Remember when you did a crime and made me ship Summerog and Nynaeve, I was like, oh, this is it.
There we go. Fodder.
This is Nynaeve. Here we have it. It's I actually turned to my partner and I was like, is it bad that she's kind of hot right now?
Is it bad that
is it bad?
I need to put a blanket down?
Is it bad?
Because that I'll make you curse the first kiss your mother ever gave your father.
That was so hot.
Oh my god.
That was so hot.
Oh my god. Whew, boy. I love that.
I thought that was a dumb line, but I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, you just don't appreciate.
That's okay. I'm allowed to be wrong.
Yeah. Sometimes you are. Sometimes I am.
Listen.
Sometimes it doesn't matter.
Sometimes it's just...
It doesn't matter. I'm just one person.
Speaking of wrong, I just want to say I'm so sick and tired of seeing people bitching about the fact that Elaine and Nynaeve did not rescue Egwene. We can talk about Egwene later, but they did things this season. First of all, they developed a deep bond between the two of them that just flourished beautifully on screen.
That was a little bit too gay sometimes. Like, I genuinely thought Elaine was going to kiss Nynaeve at some point.
Yeah, it's a little gay.
Oh, yes. I mean, yeah.
And,
it's Elaine, so.
And yes, Nynaeve doesn't know how to extract arrows from bodies, but that's okay. It's about results. It's results that matter. It's the results that matter.
Is it though? Because that was an oversight.
Okay, yeah. So that aside,
Nynaeve, I've never seen an arrow in my life, Almira.
I mean, okay, no, but like talking about arrow, if you really want to dive into the arrow, the tip of the arrow is already out of the leg, so you're not gonna. Yeah. You're not gonna pull it.
You can't pull it. No.
And those arrows are freaking thick. It's like medieval arrow. It's not the thing you're using these days, like nowadays for the bow. Like snapping them is not that easy, and that would actually be a lot more painful than just pushing it. I don't think there was that many association actually.
My thing is, I'm just like, when people say that Nynaeve and Elaine's arc went to waste, it didn't. Elaine got set up as a core member of this group of little shenanigan critters, and Nynaeve's block has if you really need something ham-fisted and thrown in your face and be very obvious, I'm sure there's a way you could miss it, but Nynaeve and Elaine really had great character development, and the fact that they didn't end up rescuing Egwene, we can talk about the Egwene part of that later, but it doesn't mean that what they did and their efforts didn't matter. They took on the Sanchan in the best way that they knew how, and they could have it in a different universe, like the books, rescued Egwene. They did the things. They moved and pushed themselves as characters and as friends, and that matters. So
counterpoint: Egwene just doesn't need rescuing.
Well, this is the thing,
right? Yeah. Well, I said that. I said that the Egwene part later.
I know. I agree. Egwene, that we'll get to it, but she did not need rescuing.
No, she didn't.
No, she did not.
And I like this. This was a good choice. I think this was a good choice for both of them because I think Elaine and Nynaeve both needed, like, obviously Elaine needed time to develop just so that we could get to know her as a character.
She needed to cook.
And Nynaeve, I feel like there's this mentality that people have, especially with fantasy, where like people are only useful if they're doing the big flashy magic thing, or if they're fighting or something. The same thing happened with Lan this season, where like because he wasn't fighting, and like they're we may disagree on some things, or with Rand, just because there weren't the big flashy battle moments or the big flashy channeling moments, it doesn't mean that nothing is happening. And it's actually like I think it's really dismissive to just like disregard Nynaeve's sort of progression this season, because the moment when she trusted Elaine to get them up to for when they got to Egwene and found her, that Elaine would be able to heal her, that is huge for Nynaeve. Nynaeve last season spent like most of her time not trusting anyone. She hid like Matt's whole thing from Moiraine because she didn't trust Moiraine. And here's Nynaeve trusting someone that she, doesn't really know that well. And I feel like that's a really good character moment. And,
Yeah, that's a very good point, because Nynaeve was most of season 2 and all of season 1 was very much in a mindset of, I have to be the one doing it.
Mm-hmm.
As the kind of person who like, if I'm not doing it, nobody's going to do it. So I need to be the one doing it. In this situation, she's trusting Elaine that she can also do it. So it's fine if Nynaeve is not at a top because they're a group and Elaine can handle it.
Yeah, sometimes Nynaeve needs to bottom.
Exactly. Title of the episode?
Jot that down. Title of the episode.
Sometimes Nynaeve needs to bottom. Look. The only thing I have is a slight editing error, I think. When Seta died, the sul'dam that they captured and made into a damane, her collar did not come off.
Ah, yeah. That's a good point.
Oh, interesting.
It's not really a good point. It's just a thing I noticed.
I mean, it's a good point in the sense that is something that I didn't notice.
Because she definitely died. I was trying to think well, maybe she didn't actually die yet on screen, but it was still on later, and yeah, she would have been very dead.
Yeah,
very dead.
Interesting.
And also, I mean, this is kind of general, but I like that there was some Taveran kind of bullshit probably happening throughout with multiple people this episode, because I mean, running through that place and Nynaeve not being the one being hit and Seta being hit instead, and then they are going through Elaine's leg, all of these things were just
Elaine does not have that protection, that plot armor.
She does not.
Yes. So for the people who have not read the books, because Taveran hasn't been really explained in the show so far, it's like the pattern, so the destiny is moving around you.
It's plot armor.
It's a plot armor.
It's
a fantasy plot armor.
It is.
It gives you an out.
And there's a lot of moments like that this episode. And it just... That thing going on, Taveran. That thing going on, Taveran. I've been trying to find a song that just go that would just go if that thing is happening, it's that. If that thing is happening, it's that. Because it's literally what Taveran is.
Yeah.
I had a song and I cannot find it, and I'm frustrated.
Wait.
Oh.
From Pocahontas.
Which one?
Savages.
Oh
no!
Taveran.
Oh, I know what you mean. I know.
I was also thinking about the Ghostbuster one, the Ghostbusters team.
Who are you gonna call? Taveran.
I used to rewrite lyrics for musicals, so maybe I could figure. I don't know.
There you go.
Taveran.
This is what I do in a few months.
There you go. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't have much more to say about Nynaeve Elaine. Nynaeve looked incredible in the sul'dam setup, which honestly rough, because we should not be thirsty for sul'dam setup, but Nynaeve in the sul'dam costume, okay.
The eye makeup?
Gosh.
The eye makeup?
Okay, let's be... Yes, it was eye makeup, but it was just smeared mascara and eyeshadow.
Okay.
It was on Zoe Robbins, though.
Whatever it was, James. Whatever it was. It doesn't matter what it was. That's not the point of this.
It's a smoky eye.
We're not hotifying sul'dams. It's
just Nynaeve.
Just Nynaeve.
It's someone cosplaying as a sul'dam.
That's right.
There's a difference.
To be clear, don't do that.
Yes.
Please, for the love of God, don't do that.
No, if someone wants to cosplay as a sul'dam, I'm not going to be mad at them.
Just don't have a damane?
Just don't have a damane. Oh. All right, so nothing else on Nynaeve Elaine?
I mean, I still haven't been able to finish because I did enjoy that I can feel her in my mind set up Egwen's realization later on. I think that was a nice start. And yeah, we mentioned the plan. The plan was good. It's just she didn't expect the white cloaks. Who would expect the white cloaks?
Nobody ever expects the white cloaks.
Egwene's like, I'm not going to do what you say. And then she sees some white cloaks and she's like, just this once, I'm going to do a little boom boom.
She's so vibed up.
Maybe some small ones. Yeah.
Do we want to move into Egwene at this point then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about Egwene. Yeah, we may as well.
I do love that Egwene was super fucking conflicted about using the one power as a weapon, and then she's sees one white cloak and she's like, yeah, Renna, let's fucking blow this shit up. Fuck it.
Let's do this shit. Yeah, you could see the moment where she decided, she was like, oh, yeah, fuck them, actually.
I'm not a monster, but for that guy, I will be.
For him specifically, I will do it.
I'm not bound by the oaths.
That's right.
Before even that, I gasped when Rena cut the braid.
Oh.
That bitch.
This is the thing. This
that
is the
bitch.
thing.
Uh-huh.
Rena is up there with Lanfear for me as like best character of the season.
Mm-hmm.
As a person, I fucking hate her and she's awful and there's nothing redeemable about her character. But she is portrayed so fucking well. That actor is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But,
so good.
And she's smart too.
Mm-hmm.
Like she knew to keep that braid on until she needed complete obedience.
Mm-hmm.
Because she knew. She saw how much it mattered.
She understood.
She didn't know why, but
The braid scene was my red wedding. I'm just gonna say.
Okay, that's a little much.
That's a bit dramatic from you.
Wow, that's real dramatic. The red wedding?
I mean, yeah, that hair was important to Egwene. It symbolizes everything about sisterhood and
people died at the red wedding, Matt.
Hair can go back.
Okay, but they were.
No one died at Stonewall.
No one died at Stonewall. Okay, maybe people died at the red wedding, but who trusts a Frey? Honestly, like,
oh my God,
Robb Stark was a dummy.
Okay, look, I'm just saying, like, you cannot even compare the two.
They're not. But that's fine. You can be wrong.
Fine, okay.
I'm glad you felt emotions, but
Okay, I'll retract that, and I will say that Egwene's hair being cut off was like Ned Stark's head being cut off.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not sure that's much better.
Except I cared about Egwene's hair more than Ned Stark's head.
Oh, poor Ned Stark.
Rip.
All right.
yeah, no.
Oops.
Rena is just amazing, and
oh, she's fantastic. She's a great character.
with how little, like, Lanfear was main character energy. Rena is not a main character, but Rena still like amazing.
Yep.
I don't have anything up until the catapult.
No.
Me neither. Because there's only one, like, there's not a lot of scene before they're on the tower. There's this scene with the braid, and then the one when Rand sees her, which, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's
I did think it was a little bit of like Deus Ex Machina with the catapult. I'm not mad at it. It's Taviran. Taviran.
It does work. It's good.
It does work.
It does
and it
work,
would make
yeah.
that song worth listening to.
Absolutely.
okay. But like, yeah, that's done Taviran. Only Rena and Egwene surviving Taviran. Megan's death, giving her the proper weapon to kill Rena.
Okay.
Completely Taviran.
Taviran.
People were saying that wasn't Megan. And I'm like,
it was.
It's definitely Megan.
It very much was.
okay, that's what I'm like, it was, right? Like, I'm not.
It very much was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
I
it
just want to
was.
make sure we all agree other people are stupid.
I know all women probably look the same to you, but this was me.
No, it wasn't me that was saying it. I saw it on Twitter and someone was like, the x-ray confirmed that it wasn't Megan. And I'm like, yeah, but did you look at her face? Because her face confirmed it was Megan.
Yeah, 'twas Megan. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, dumb.
Some of these takes.
I did love that Egwene used the collar against Rena, and I think that the mental gymnastics, that you could use it not as a weapon, because the intent is not to hurt your sul'dam. The intent is to put your sul'dam in her place.
She is collaring a woman who can channel. She's doing what the Adam is intended to do, as far as she knows. Yeah.
I am not mad at it. I understand why some people are a little bit like, but whatever.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta let go of some of that Wheel of Time companion lore, like those numbers with the like, I don't give a shit about none of that. Like, if you're doing the maths for all that, you lost me. I don't care. It looked cool. I liked it. I don't care that Egwene's power is 25 parentheses X plus 2. I don't give a shit about none of that. It looked cool. That's all I care about.
I don't even do the math.
Camille doesn't even do the math.
And you're the math gay.
The math gay doesn't even do the math.
It's actually 8 plus 5, but okay.
Oh my god!
Don't
oh
give
my
a shit
god.
if it's 6 plus 9 or 4 plus 20.
6 plus 9,
I still don't care.
6 plus 9, really? Okay.
So, talking about that scene, I really enjoy the Egwene explanation about why is it working. And I think the show gave plenty of hints about that, but it was nice to see her summarizing the hints for the people who may not be as attentive as others. So, yeah, I think it was well done.
And it wasn't like heavy-handed. No. It was very just like, this is why it worked. Done. And
it's Egwene doing it to to fuck with, to damage her psychically. Like that's why, because she wanted her to know, like, okay, you think that I am less than human? Well, bitch, you're the same as me. So here we are.
We're the same.
We are the same.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I like that you see like the reasoning process of Egwene. Like she first think about the worded bonds and realize, oh no, you can see the weave. So that must be that we are linked. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fantastic. And then, I mean, it was just so satisfying to watch Egwene watch her die, and just, yeah, perfect.
It was a satisfying death.
Very satisfying.
Rena dying was the purple wedding for me.
Okay, you know what?
What the fuck is the purple wedding?
It's when Joffrey died, when he choked.
Yeah.
Yes, that works better. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Yeah.
I didn't know that scene had a name.
It does.
Oh, yeah, it's Purple Wedding because he choked.
I didn't either, but I also think it's a stupid show, so.
Valid.
That's fair.
Do we want to talk about Egwene versus Ishamael? Because I think we all have thoughts on that.
I liked it. I feel like...
I thought it was fine.
I think it's fine. Because, one, Egwene is very powerful. I feel like people have gotten... Sorry.
No, I liked it. Reason 1, Egwene's strong.
I know.
Girl power, girl boss, gatekeep, gaslight.
Girl power.
Egwene's strong.
2. Is Ishamael strong-ish?
Strong-ish.
4. Is she probably wanted to die?
Yeah, but it's true. Like, it's honestly though, like, I feel like people get kind of deep into the joke of Egwene not being the strongest channeler in 1,000 years, that they forget that just because Nynaeve is extremely powerful, it doesn't mean that Egwene is not.
Right.
Egwene is still exceptionally powerful, and she was also extremely motivated. And Ishamael wants to die. So I feel like it was kind of the perfect storm of all of those things kind of coming together. And like, I mean, she was struggling. It's not like she was doing it and it was easy for her. She was struggling through it, but...
Yeah, like there, in the books, and this is not a spoiler, in the books there are 12 women more powerful than Egwene.
Yep.
12. There are hundreds of channelers.
Yep.
12.
That's like saying, oh, something made more at the box office than Titanic. Why do people consider Titanic financially successful? Because it was one of the biggest grossing movies of all time. Just because it's not number 1 anymore doesn't mean it's not still fucking huge.
Exactly. And
also, like, Egwene did not hold her own for that long.
No,
like
it wasn't.
It was a minute or two of her just putting all of her power into a shield. It was just raw power versus raw power. And yes, Ishamael had the dexterity and the skill and thousands of years of experience on her, but that doesn't matter when you're just going up against a literal shield of power against a strong channeler. Like, it makes sense that she could do a couple of minutes.
And I think it's in the book that defensive magic is like more efficient sometimes than offensive magic, because some people have been comparing Egwene to like Moiraine and Swan, who got very easily defeated by Lanfear, but both of them made a very strategic mistake, in a sense that Moiraine, when fighting against Ishii, she started making weapons and stopped because she was threatening Ishamael. So Ishamael had the time to react. Swan did the same thing against Lanfear. She threatened to attack, when the things to do would have been to protect yourself. It's like put the shield first and then attack.
Right.
Yeah.
It's also possible that, I mean, Ishii obviously knows that the Aes Sedai are bound by the oaths. You know, he's had the experience with Moraine, and he could have forgotten that Egwene is not bound by those oaths, and instead of saying, I'm about to attack and do all these fancy hand motions, she's just going to say, no, fuck you. So that's another thing.
Yeah. And I like the continual differences that we see between women who have been trained in the One Power and have trained at the White Tower compared to women and just people who have not. Because the people who have not, it's just instinctual. They just do the thing. And that's exactly what Egwene is doing. She just does it. And like compared to Moraine, as beautiful as that scene is, she is doing all of these like complicated sort of hand movements.
Because that's how she thinks she has to.
Exactly, because she thinks that's how it's done.
And so a little connection here was Rena saying that the punishment is to cut off their hands. The Damane still channel without their hands.
Oh, yeah.
Throw back to season 1 with Aemon Valda cutting off the Aes Sedai's hands because you think that that's what they need. There's lots of ways to do things, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
There's more than one way to skin an Aes Sedai.
Oh, God. Okay.
See how many paths to walk through the night.
I'm sorry, Cimarog possessed me for a second. Oopsies.
Yeah, there are many paths to walk through the night.
Yes, there are.
Okay, we're saving that for the end.
Yes, we're going to save it. We're going to save it.
Should we move to Perrin?
Perrin and the White Cloaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Perrin and the White Cloaks. Oh, we can start with the White Cloaks.
Yeah.
My only note for the White Cloaks is, in the non-spoiler section is Geofram Bornhold is not a good person, but he is a good person for a White Cloak.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I have a few notes about the White Cloak. First thing first, because those kids are creepy as fuck.
I rebuke thee, Satan.
Don't like it. Nope.
Just a little bit of war crimes.
Where do they come from? Where do the kids come from? Like, do they have fathers within the White Cloaks? Or is it like a send your third son to the church kind of situation?
Maybe.
It has to be that, because obviously the White Cloaks are all fucking each other, so they can't be like reproducing.
Obviously, that has to be the case.
That was obvious to everyone.
I mean, Joffrey Bornhold as a son, they...
Right.
He does.
No, Dane just calls him daddy. There's a difference.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, that makes sense.
So Perrin killed this... No, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, Perrin killed his dom.
He killed...
Oh, God, this is a cursed conversation. This is so cursed.
Oh, I will say, I've been trying to think, like, completely aside, I've been trying to think of a good ship name for Perrin and Dane, and...
Pain.
Well, yes, I've heard Pain. I've heard, like, two cloaks, or, like, White Rivers. I like Pornhold.
Of course you do.
Of course you do.
Of course you do.
I like Wolf Cloak.
Wolf Cloak? That just makes me think of Hopper.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hopper, some people
No,
were like...
I still had stuff about the White Cloaks that I'm trying to say, but...
Oh, sorry.
So I did enjoy, Bornhold is actually pretty decent for a White Cloak. I thought it's strange that the show is making me like the White Cloaks about, when he says the Watchers of the Waves called for help, a letter to every queen, and nobody came except for the White Cloaks. Well, it's actually not true. Somebody said I came, got fucked, didn't say anything about that because they're not going to say, hey, we messed up. And also, I was intrigued by Dane bringing the prophecy and apparently thinking whether he should believe to the prophecies.
I'm curious as to where that's going to go.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that too. What I loved too is Bornhold father answering prophecies are just the lies of long dead witches. And then the transition being directly to Lanfear.
To Lanfear?
A long dead witch.
Yeah. Yeah, I was disturbed by how much I was on the White Cloak side for this episode. Because slavery is bad, and they were saving people from slavery. And I mean,
It reflects a lot of 19th century and even before that, like a lot of religious groups that we would consider to be evil, like the Spanish Inquisition, No, they were pretty bad.
I was
like, how are you gonna
different? We'll talk about Crusaders and stuff like that. So people that we assume as being like bad, still oppose, like, slavery was the absolute bottom beneath which people would not go. And people like say all the time, like, oh, well, slavery was normal back when the Civil War happened, so you can't hold them to that. There were tons of like hyper religious organizations that were pretty fucked up, but they were like, slavery's evil, and if you do a slavery, you're an evil person. So like, it makes a lot of sense for the White Cloaks to be on the side of morality on this issue, because it's such like the bar's in hell when it comes to like the morality of the Sanchan.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep. The smoke looked cool. This is not super insightful, but that like they were really, I liked how strategic they were in how they attacked the city. Yeah, it was cool. It was the charge
fantastic.
Yes, and also it happened during the day. Thank God, an epic battle during the day in a fantasy show. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Oh gosh. Overall, I thought the battle in general in Falma, like to give a very general feeling about that, like I thought it was very well done. There was a lot of switch between different POVs, a lot of tight battle everywhere, some good transition between different things. The Aiel could fight, the White Cloak could fight, the Senchen could kind of fight. The Shenra were cool too. Anyway, I like that battle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can I go back to Egwene for just a second, because I missed something that I wanted to say when we were on her, and then we can go right back. But I wanted to say that one of the reasons I loved that she freed herself is because she had so many scenes throughout season 1 and 2 in which agency was stripped from her. And this goes all the way back to season 1 and the White Cloaks washing her. The act of, usually what is an act of servitude, washing somebody, was twisted into an act of oppression. And Rena repeated that. And so we see Egwene having so much agency and power stripped from her and reduced to essentially an object and a tool, that her retaking her own freedom was an amazing conclusion to that specific part of her character arc, which is why I will always fight anybody who says that it was not the right way to go for her character.
She needed a win.
Yeah.
She needed a win, and it needed to be a thematic win with the theme of agency and freedom.
Yeah.
And power. That's it.
No, it's like, I agree. Like, even with how she started in the White Tower, like with like basically being sort of put to the side and ignored and kind of dismissed almost. And then she has this like really cool triumphant moment here at the end where, like, you know, she gets to show exactly what she's made of. And yeah, it was good.
Yep.
Sorry, back to the
yeah.
Back to Perrin. And we don't have anything more on the White Cloak outside of Perrin, right?
No.
When we first see Perrin, my first thought was, Avienda needs a bath. I know she doesn't like water, but she still has blood everywhere.
She's
like
fine.
that's filthy.
She's fine.
Well.
I'm saying.
Sure she's stanky.
Elaine can join her.
Elaine can join her. Matt can join in. Like, they need
baths all around.
They all need a bath. You know what this I loved the Moghedian scene, but you know what it really needed? It needed like an Avengers style shawarma restaurant scene where they're all just going to like take a bath.
Going to take baths.
First scene of next season, everyone in a bath.
Sitting in silence.
No dialogue. It's like them going into a Korean spa or something and being given their towel and then just showering.
Perfect.
No dialogue.
Nothing. Yeah, I agree. Make it happen, Rafe, please. Thank you.
So to Perrin. What do you guys have to say about Perrin's in this episode?
It was hard to watch Hopper.
Yeah.
I know James doesn't care about Whooper.
I know. Well, you know what? If we all had the same opinions, we'd all be boring.
It's true.
So take that and shove it up your bussy.
Oh, my heavens.
It's a fucking dog. Okay.
James.
Anyways, I am not a dog person, and in horror movies, I don't really care when animals get hurt because it's just part of the it's what you get. It's part of the game.
The circle of life. It's the circle of life.
But I was really sad when Hopper died, but also there were some criticisms that we didn't get enough of Hopper for it to be an emotional payoff. But like, we got more Hopper in season 2 than we got in the books. So anybody who says there wasn't enough of an emotional connection to have a proper payoff really needs to reevaluate how they, evaluate payoffs.
Can we
Go ahead.
I want someone to like go in the books and find the whole 3 sentences where Hopper and Perrin interacted.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't happen.
And also, it's a dog. Like anyone, like you say, just killing a dog on a TV show, you don't even need to know the dog in advance. Like half of the audience would already be emotionally invested.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
And obviously, like for this, like it's what Hopper represents to Perrin, in that like Hopper is like this like kind of beacon of hope for that Perrin has for the first time since his wife died, and that was taken away from him. Hence the
It was a well executed arc.
Yeah.
It was, and I enjoyed that there was a pivotal moment where Perrin's eyes stay yellow.
Yes.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if we were going to get it, but we got it.
It gives him and his boyfriend some reason to have some angst with each other.
Hornhold. Yep.
Listen, I did not see the vision before. I see the vision now. I get it now. Dane and Perrin, I can see the appeal.
I can see the appeal too. It's I'm really enjoying what they're doing with Perrin and Dane relationship in the show, because
it's gonna come up in season 3.
In the books, Perrin doesn't kill Dane Bornhold father. His father do die in Falme, but Perrin is not responsible, and Dane keeps blaming Perrin, and it's so annoying. And now there's a real reason for Dane to hate Perrin.
Yeah, because literal murder. Don't get me wrong, it was justified, but it was a literal murder.
It was, very much. And like I'm a sucker for like recurring things, and so like the sort of comparison for when he first meets Perrin and like, hey, 2 rivers, and then seeing him in battle, like, oh, 2 rivers, surprise. And then at the end when he sees Perrin kill his father, like in like horror and despair and anger.
2 rivers.
2 rivers. I'm just, I love it. I'm into this now. I'm into it.
It was really good. I'm excited for season 3.
Yeah.
Is it a spoiler if it doesn't actually happen? I was going to say I can't wait in season 8 when they make up by having sex, but that's not going to happen, so...
That's not even slightly a spoiler.
Because it's not real.
It only happens in your head.
Because it's not real. I made it up in my head.
It's like when we talked about Black Panther showing up in the last battle. It's not a thing.
Remember Wakanda Manetheren forever.
Manetheren forever.
That was in episode like 3 or something.
That was a while ago.
It was a while ago.
I'm surprised any of you remember.
I don't.
So do we want to talk about, let's talk about Rand or Matt?
I have a few more things about Perrin.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's the Hopper thing, but there's also like him finding Matt again, him finding Loyal, Linktar again. That was very sweet scenes.
I love that scene.
I loved Loyal saying, what of the heroes of today, that is what we are now. And I saw something that I think is getting more and more subtle, but Perrin is always the one noticing things before everyone else. And at first, the show was very much focusing on that. No, there's still a little bit of focus, but it's a bit less like, here, can you see Perrin sees it?
Yeah, I mean, he was also with the Aiel, who are also hella observant, so I was confused a bit by Chiad's line of like, that doesn't belong here, and I'm like, what are you referring to? And then I realized it was referring to Hopper.
Oh, yes.
I thought it was like like I looked in the distance and I'm like, the sand? The sand doesn't belong here?
Yeah, no sand.
I didn't even get it.
But no, I did love Loyal's quote, what of the heroes of today, that is what we are now. We are all the heroes of another age's legend. I think it's time we start acting like it. I think that's my favorite line of the episode.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I love Loyal so much. Oh my god.
Anything else on Perrin?
Not for me. Should we move to Rand?
Rand.
Yeah.
I need...
I have...
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Matt. Rand is your baby.
I'm just going to read from my notes. So I said that Rand's arc this season was more muted than other character arcs, and I know a lot of people are disappointed that he didn't do something huge, but I think everyone needs to remember that this is going to be a hopefully 8+ season show, and he is the Dragon Reborn, so we know that he is only going on an upward trajectory from here on out. So having him reach his heights in season 2 would make no sense at all. His arc this season was more character driven than plot or power driven. So I guess if your only concept of good writing is plot, then you wouldn't understand that the depth of his character that we saw. But he starts off taking care of veterans with PTSD and being a genuinely caring human.
PTSD.
PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress bussy.
Post-traumatic that's the title of the episode.
Oh God,
There's already 3 titles, I think.
I know we have some good options.
We do. But yeah, from taking care of veterans from the last war and trying to learn more about himself while essentially hiding himself and hiding who he is, to accepting his role as the dragon. That is nothing to sneeze at. Like, accepting yourself and accepting something about yourself that you can't change should resonate with a lot of queer people, especially. I mean, again, perhaps if one's definition of a character arc is based on, ooh, I have godlike Marvel powers, I make things go boom, and no character depth at all whatsoever, then sure, his arc was a letdown. But the true substance of who Rand is and his character and how he comes to accept who he is, to me, that hit very powerful this season. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You said it better than I could have said it.
Yeah. That was really good, Matt.
Oh, thank you.
He's a writer.
Yeah. I appreciated that the prophecies about Rand, about the Dragon Reborn, didn't happen in the way that people thought they were going to, and even like in the way that book fans were expecting them to happen. And I don't know, I appreciated that. I like that we didn't get a literal fucking battle in the sky, because my God, I was cringing in advance just thinking about it. I'm so glad that we didn't get that.
Thank God we didn't get that goofy ass sky battle. I don't care how good your CGI is. There's no way it would have looked good. I mean,
can we talk about the Turok scene?
Oh,
because that was my favorite part.
That was fantastic.
You mean Indiana Rand?
That felt like the biggest troll of, because they've been using that Turok scene for months.
It was so good.
In every promo, it's him like getting in position and the armor clicking into place and pulling out his sword with the nails and everything. And every promo image for months, and we're all like, ooh, yeah, there's going to be a big ass sword fight. Ooh, yeah. No. Rand said no.
Not today.
Rand said, I don't think so. I appreciate it, but no thank you.
Yeah, it's...
It was fantastic.
And people are thinking that Rand is not powerful enough. He killed 9 men at once without sweating a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it's impressive.
Yeah.
It was brutal, and it's kind of... It's a teaser of what it will be able to do in the future. And yeah,
it's scary.
Like his natural, like Rand's natural, a bit like just comfort with it. Like you can just see he just like, this is what I'm supposed to. This is right, and you can see his like this is when he's not thinking about it so much. When he is like focused on a task, he is precision.
Yeah, I came to save you, but it looks like you didn't need it. Like, is that why people are mad that Rand didn't get a character arc? Because he admitted that he wasn't necessary to save Egwene, who is... I've always said in the books, and this is not a spoiler, I've always said in the books that their stories are parallels of each other. Like, no.
Again, it goes back to people having a concept of a character arc being... I get godlike powers, I make things go boom, boom, Avengers assemble or whatever. Like, if you love Marvel movies, good for you, but I think they've really affected our perception of what a character arc actually is. It can be, I make things go boom, boom, but it's not a bad arc just because it doesn't have that.
And I think for character like Rand, it's even amplified by the fact that Rand is a man, and then men in media are often valued by how powerful they are, like either physically or magically, for fantasy-related media, but a lot less by like emotional depth or like everything that makes a well-rounded human being is not really valued. And that's a fucked up thing.
Yeah. It's I agree. Like I think that Rand, similar to Nynaeve, they've been on very sort of character driven arcs this season. And I don't think those should be discounted, because this is like everything that Rand has gone through this season is foundational to who he becomes later on, and what happens with him later on, and sort of the things that are being set up now. And we may not get the payoff of the big flashy bang but we will. And when it happens, I feel like people may be a little bit more appreciative of the time they took now to sort of establish all of that.
Yeah. And also, people don't give enough credit to Rand for literally being shielded by 8 people and standing on his feet, when we've been shown and told a few times that having a shield on you is a very constrictive experience, I would say. Like, Rand, the other time he got shielded, fell on his knee directly. Moraine went for months under a shield and struggled a lot. Like, she's literally saying in this episode that once she lost the shield, it felt like running without buckets and water on her back.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the fact that he stands up in that moment and say no to Ishamael, it's also show like a strong will, and I love that for him.
Yeah. He stands up, and like Lan said, he faces it on his feet, which like I think, that's a nice little mini callback to that conversation.
Do we want to move to Matt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My sweet boy.
Okay, everyone prepare yourselves. I have something nice to say about Matt.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
It's happening. It's happening.
My God. So, Rafe, you've pulled a miracle off.
Remember that October 18th, 2023. James had something nice to say about Matt.
Okay. When Padden Fane was like giving his whole speech about going back, how he went back to the tower and abandoned his friends, and there was no point like lying and saying who he is, and like this whole "you're evil" thing, I'm like, that is really, really shitty, because it like, yes, there are previous patterns of behavior with Matt, but refusing to give Matt the opportunity to do better and be a different person, like, fuck off with that. Matt does deserve a chance to do a little bit better, and he does, and that makes me happy. So for a moment, I didn't hate Matt.
Look at that.
Nice.
Look at that. You know what that is?
Gross.
It's gross.
That's gross.
It is gross.
Talking about Fane, I was surprised by how Fane looked really mentally stable after having spent months with the dagger, compared to like season 1 Matt, who was really struggling. And maybe just from I'm assuming Fane quickly accepted the dagger and the darkness from it. He embraced it and he embraced the dagger and its power instead of fighting it. So I'm guessing that was the main difference between Fane and Matt, is that Matt resisted to the darkness while Fane was sharing for it. Yeah. Also, Matt didn't know about Fane being a dark friend the first time he saw him.
No.
And that make me laugh.
Matt was playing catch up, like this whole, like, he's like, wait a minute, what? Fane? What? Perrin, what are you doing here? Who are these people? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's just like, all of these things where he's like, okay, here I go. And like, I feel like this is like where we really got to meet Matt at his core. Like, this episode was like, it was Matt. It was like future books Matt. If that's a spoiler, it's not a spoiler.
No.
Yeah, I mean, Matt is smart. What he did with handling the dagger was very smart. I don't care if it's not physical, if it's not physically possible. Tavern. So I love like Fane telling him like talking about like you're some hero from a Gleeman's Tale, and Matt being like, bet half an hour later.
Oh, I'll show you. Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, it was great. Like him fashioning the what's it called?
Quarterstaff with a dagger on top of it. Yeah.
He fashions a spear with the dagger on top of it. And that was cool.
And that's going to be the only spear he's going to use for the whole series because that makes so much sense.
You think he's not going to have any sex during the series? Because I thought that would count as handling a spear.
Yeah, so I did like it when Matt got to blow the horn. I got some feels there. I didn't care when he said the thing. I think the thing is stupid, whatever. I did love that Arthur Hawkwing was credited as Arthur Hawkening.
Perfect.
Really?
Amazing.
In the X-ray, it's Arthur Hawkening.
I didn't notice.
Lovely. I love that scene, and I love how Matt is portrayed, or how when he realizes that he's a hero and that he's always been a hero, it strikes, some people got mad about that, whatever, get over yourselves. Like, anybody who's ever been told that they're not enough, that you're not attractive enough, you're not smart enough, you're not this enough, or you're always going to be this, or you're always going to be that, and then having a realization that you are better than people tell you, and you are better than you tell yourself that you are, and when you realize that, even if it's just temporary, like, I don't see how that moment doesn't resonate with people. Like, when Donal made that face, and he's like, I am a hero, like I am somebody worth being just for me, that really hit me hard in a good way.
Yeah.
And it was just such an amazing cap for his character arc in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. You can see, like, even in his posture, like, he stands straighter, like you can see, like, the confidence come in him, and like it was fantastic. I do think the horn looked silly, but that's a relatively small thing.
It was campy.
Yeah, it's fine.
You can see his change of attitude already from when he managed to solve that riddle with a dagger and figuring out how to leave the room without actually touching the dagger. And then when he meets Perrine again and jokes about Ren's hair, which was hilarious, figure out how to open the horn and then blow the horn. And yeah, you feel the progressive change in himself all along this episode, and I really enjoyed that. I really love the hero of the horn in particular because there was a good diversity within his...
Right, not just with like colors of people, but like cultures were clearly depicted.
Yeah.
And genders.
Yes. Well, we aren't going to talk about Brigida's wig, but
we can't talk about
Brigida's wig. No.
I don't know what you're talking about. Brigida wasn't in this episode.
They get one free pass.
They get a freebie.
That is it. That is
I
it.
didn't see Brigida in this episode at all. It makes sense because the heroes of the Horn come from a diverse set of mythical characters. Like Amaterasu is Amaterasu, the Japanese sun goddess. And I loved seeing her. Like, it was like,
oh my god,
like in the tradition, it was just amazing. It was phenomenal.
Once again, the costume on this show are like incredible.
So good. They're so good.
Except for a few wigs every once in a while.
No, all of the wigs that we saw were fine. There were no bad wigs.
No bad wigs.
I don't know what people are saying when they talk about Brigida in a wig. I didn't see anything.
Didn't see her.
That didn't happen. I don't know her.
I am curious as to what Amaterasu did with the horn. Like, she took it and she said,
I think they're gonna find it again.
Did she hide it?
They're gonna find it again right after the battle or something like that.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, did she just yeet it behind her real quick? They won't find it.
Bye.
Yeah.
Matt is gonna wake up the next day and find out the horn right next to him, and it's gonna be like, where did that come from?
What?
I'm just confused as to what you did with it, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, So this isn't really a book spoiler. Well, it is, but it doesn't ever come up even in the books. But like Amaterasu, the hero of the horn, is basically like the female counterpart to the dragon. So
Yes.
it's basically another Rand spirit. That's why she's right next to Matt, because she's important.
Yes, indeed. And then should we talk about Uno?
We don't talk about Uno. Uno.
Oh my god.
I don't mind it. I think within the context of the show, it's a nice way to tell show only person that those are dead people that are coming back.
Yes. It's fine.
Okay, so some people called it fan service.
It is.
It is.
But also, I don't entirely agree because Uno wasn't as prominent last season and he didn't have the meme power, I guess, that he had at the beginning of season 2. So by the time they made the decision, like all this stuff had passed. Like they didn't do that in response to fans being upset about the scene with the Sanchan. Like this was something that they planned before shooting.
Yeah.
I don't like, I can see where the fan service claim comes from, but I don't agree with it because of how these things are timed. And also, like Camille said, it's an easy way to show people who don't read the books that the heroes of the horn are specifically people who do cool things in battle or who have some renown that come back. But it's not a get out of death free card because they're not just walking around now. Uno goes back into the horn.
Right.
So like,
oh yeah,
I am fine with it.
Yeah.
Still talking about Matt, I did think that Matt hitting Rand was kind of heartbreaking, especially after like he goes on a upbeat during the whole episode and then he tries to save his friend and he hurt him, and that was sad. That was expected, but that was sad.
Yeah,
it's straight out of Shakespeare. Spear did it. But no, like that sort of cosmic irony is a very Shakespearean sort of thing. So I loved it from a narrative standpoint. I hated it because Matt tried so hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Poor baby.
Poor Matt. And he looked so he went from being elated to like almost excited, like the adrenaline was pumping, to being just devastated.
Shattered, yeah.
Do you want to talk about the Forsaken of it all?
Yes.
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 I have so many things about Ishamael.
Oh my god. Okay. Who do we want to talk? Do we want to talk about Ishi first?
I mean, we can talk about them all together, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're all connected. Ishamael was like, Ishamael was so mad about Lanfear.
Oh my god.
Bringing around.
Oh.
Like that scene between Lanfear and Ishamael was good.
Girl, she told you she was going to betray you.
Well,
yeah.
No, I think the thing that it sets up beautifully is the fact that all of the Forsaken have different plans. And like Ishamael says, there are many paths to walk through the night. Like, yes, they're all evil. That's all they have in common.
Yeah.
And Lanfear said the same thing several episodes ago. So I thought that was a nice callback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dynamic Lanfear Ishamael, I found it very fun. I like the I balance you and I you.
Yeah, that was weird to me, but not in a bad way.
In my chaotic notes, that was also a moment where I was like, no kiss. Because
I mean, you know they had some epic threesomes in the Age of Legends.
Of course they did.
Oh, yeah.
You know
yeah.
Lanfear got Eiffel Towered.
We call it a pig roast down south.
God.
I felt tired.
Oh boy.
As a French person, I do not approve.
But y'all don't even like the Eiffel Tower.
Does anyone else have something about that Ishi Lanfear scene?
So not about the scene specifically, but just like I just loved how smug Lanfear is.
The entire episode.
The entire episode. In that scene when she's talking to Bail Damont, like she is smug the entire episode. She is so sure in what she is doing, and she is convinced that she has gotten away with it.
Well, this is the thing. Everything about Lanfear in this episode, she is operating on a completely different level than anybody else.
Oh yeah.
Like, people think Moraine is plotting behind the scenes by having like Logain moved to Kyrian and like all these little like strings that she's pulling. You know what? You know who sold Baal Doman the piece of Quendiar? Lanfear.
The things you do to get some dick.
Lanfear has been operating at a different level than everyone else.
So did Lanfear plan everything, or was that just a plan to have Moraine and Lan killed by those Fades that were following Baal Doman?
I think yes. I think Lanfear knew shenanigans were going to happen, and she didn't care how it played out, but she knew it was going to fuck with people, and now that she hates Moraine, it worked out well for her, but I don't think there are any bad outcomes.
No.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, she is just, it was just so delightful to watch her, like, to see her the entire episode, and then just to watch her smiling happily as, like, Rand is up top, as, like, finally declared the dragon, and she's like, like, you can just see, as she's, I'm not going to get into the end scene yet, but just, like, her little strut as she's walking down the hall, she's like, I've done it.
Everything's
Everything's
coming up Lanfear.
Yes, exactly.
Everything is awesome.
Exactly.
Everything is good. Da, 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 da. I don't know.
When you're part of a team.
Yeah.
When you're part of a team. Well, no, exactly.
Well, yeah, kind of.
When you do your own thing.
It was just so good.
One thing I love is, well, love/hate is how much restraint it must take for Ishamael to not just, like, kill Suroth every time Suroth speaks to him.
I would.
Like, I get that she's useful as fuck, but the amount of disrespect that Suroth shows Ishamael.
Yeah.
I thought it was...
And you can see he was struggling. He was like, this, who does she think she's talking to?
It's the audacity of that white bitch.
The audacity
of this white bitch.
The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this bitch.
Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of this bitch.
Perfect.
Love it.
I did not know what he was referring to when he said I had other tasks to attend to, but then I realized he was breaking the seals. Well,
as he dusts off his hands.
Yeah, because I had only seen this episode once prior to today, and it's been 2 weeks, so like I was like, oh, he was okay.
I got it on the first watch, and and like Lux was there with a friend to watch it in the middle of the night, and I was at DiCaprio gif pointing at the TV like. I know it. I got it. Like I literally shouted, "He broke the seals," and I think Lux had not noticed, and I was like, "He just dusted his hand. He just broke the seals." I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was great.
I don't have anything else about Lanfear and Ishi.
I have a few things regarding the finale because one thing, for example, I do like the circular writing with in the Age of Legends, Luce Terran telling to Ishi, and for that I am so very truly sorry, my friend. And no, Ishi telling to Rand, I am sorry to old friend, I truly am. I like that. I like that Ishi threatened Rand by saying that all of his friends are going to turn to the dark, just like you did in your last life, just like you did to me. Because indeed, Lanfear and Ishamael were basically Lutheran best friends, apparently.
Yeah.
I was confused by that. Because Lanfear turned to the Dark One because...
The show in the books.
Well, the show turned to the Dark One because, like, Lutheran abandoned her.
Yeah.
Why did Ishamael turn to the Dark...
In the show or
in
the books?
Show. I mean, we know
He's a nihilist.
Yeah.
He just wants everything to end.
Yeah. I just don't get how Luce Theron was involved in it, but maybe Ishamael was just lying. I'm sure that's it.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, he does it a lot. He does lie a lot. So.
I really liked his last line. Do you see it, Luce? What do you see? Nothing. Nothing at all. It was a nice way to end with this character.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
Can you travel in the ways?
I have no idea.
I don't see why not. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to.
I I asked on Twitter, and people can't. There's nothing on like interviews or anything saying that they can't. And the ways weren't really used after traveling was invented or rediscovered, rather. So you wouldn't have had the opportunity. I'm going to ask Maria at JordanCon.
Yeah, I was going to say, ask Maria.
Oh, you know who Maria is?
I literally took pictures with her. You graham cracker.
Oh, my goodness. That was a good one.
I'm actually like a saltine, but thank you. Now do we get to talk about, or now do we let Kat talk about Moghedien?
Can we talk about Moghedien, please?
Yes, please, because we're running up on our time. So
Actually, Camille, it's almost like a French accent. How Lanfear says Moghedien.
Moghedien?
Moghedien.
I loved how she pronounced it.
Does she say Moghedien or Moghedien?
Moghedien.
I think she says Moghedien, but she said the way there's a little bit of a
Moghedien.
Yeah.
It's Moghedien.
Yeah.
It's like with an, you know how it's spelled Moghadien. It's like it's Dean, kind of how she says it. It's Moghedien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in French, I would say Moghedien, but...
Moghedien.
That's good too.
No, it's not.
No, it was
No?
it was such a good scene.
Oh my God.
I loved it. I love her so much.
I was beyond delighted. Just like that entire sequence of like Lanfear strutting down the hall, so happy. I've won. I've done it. I have ran to myself. And just the switch in music and like the sort of discordant, like how the notes get all discordant, and her slowly realizing almost immediately something is wrong and turning and seeing Moghedien.
My sweet spider.
I
used to have arachnophobia.
So good.
Until Moghedien.
I just love how all of the other Forsaken, like, don't get me wrong, I know Ishamael was probably like, hey, Moghedien, stay behind, do this. But I like to think that Moghedien was like, oh, no, Grendel, Samael, y'all go away. That's fine. Mm-hmm. I have some bitch to take care of.
I have some bitch to cut down a few notches.
Mm-hmm. I'll stick around for this bitch.
It was amazing. Her vibe was amazing.
Yeah.
Everything about her was amazing. If anybody has a problem with her or how she was introduced, you can answer to me because you're wrong. You're simply just wrong.
I don't think I've seen many people having problem. I think everyone was hyped.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there were a few people.
Yeah, but like there's always a few assholes.
Yeah.
I really loved the switch. I saw like when she leaves, you see the light coming back in the room and like the darkness in the room when she's there.
Sweating buckets.
So my God. Because like and I saw so what I did see people commenting on is like, this is not realistic. How could Moghedien get Lanfear like that? And like,
but she's scary. Like Lanfear is like, as a show viewer, you should understand that. Oh shit! Like this Forsaken and all the Forsaken like that got freed is a fucked up thing. Like you literally get Lanfear saying, "Light help you, Randall."
Yeah, like she's a little shooketh.
Yeah. Because like Moghedien says, like, you and Ishamael were always so close to Luce. And like, as that, like, you know, and she's saying it as that's a negative thing, meaning the rest of them don't give a fuck the way that Ishamael and Lanfear do. So they're not playing with Rand on nice mode. Like, this is, it's not going to be the same kind of like sort of manipulaty sort of vibes that we got with Ishamael and Lanfear. It is a whole different ballgame going forward. It's just,
I love it.
And the way that she weaved, like she literally set a trap like a spider for Lanfear, and Lanfear walked right into it.
I am curious about
softly from the shadow.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
They made a point of showing that Lanfear had her hand cut, and I'm curious as to like what that was about, but
I think it was the weave that was holding her in, because I think her hand touched one of the webs, and I think it's a weave that basically cuts the fuck out of you if you touch it.
Okay, that makes more sense. Like it's literally like you know, like blades, kind of like. Okay,
yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, it just and yeah, like it's. I mean, Lanfear was just like she was sweating buckets. She was she was not happy at all. Just to go from like complete elation to the horror at realizing her shitty coworkers are out and about, and oh boy, they're gonna go after her hopeful boyfriend.
Yeah, she was clenching so hard she made a few pussy pearls.
Yeah, she did.
No, stop trying to make pussy pearls happen. Christ on a cracker. Lord have mercy.
I just, Lanfear genuinely thought that this was done. This was over. She was going to give the seeds to Baildemon. He was going to put that deep underwater, and the whole Dark One thing would be forgotten, because it feels like, she didn't care much about that. And nope.
Ishamael got the last laugh. He got the last laugh. And yeah, it's also I love that I love that she has an accent. Like, it just, I don't know, I just love seeing like these kinds of differences within the Forsaken, whereas like, you know, in the books they're kind of like all white. and they're like, you know, they're doing different things with the Forsaken in the show, and I appreciate that. And also Moghedien is really short, and I don't know why that is important to me, but it is.
Because she's short in the books?
Well,
she is.
But, you know, they could have... She is, but they could have easily, like, been like...
She's fun-sized.
She's fun-sized, exactly.
I loved how she, like, got up to Lanfear and almost was sniffing her neck.
That was weird. That was a little bit much.
No,
I mean,
it was awesome. It was hot.
I have something to tell you, James. Moghedien is fucking weird. She's a weird little... She.
I mean, the whole way she's talking, like, too cautious, too afraid, too weak. Like, this is not a fight. This is a warning.
This is a warning.
I mean, I don't know if this is a spoiler because it never came up in the books, but Moghedien is basically an accountant who snapped. So everything makes sense.
She's like a finance bro, kind of like...
Yeah, she was a finance person who snapped, and
she's into crypto. Yeah.
It totally makes sense.
So, wait, are we saying that Moghedien is like Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
She did a little bit too much cocaine and it altered her brain chemistry?
And it did some shit to her.
Okay. Do you have anything else on this episode?
Nope.
No, I just think it was a very good...
Awesome.
episode that wrapped up everything very well and gave us some good payoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the payoffs in this episode.
Lots of good payoffs. Really good payoffs.
I don't think we mentioned that at all, but I love that we got all the 5 of the 3 of us all together at the end of it.
And Elaine.
And
Elaine.
Elaine's like, and me. I'm here too.
It's like, hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Ken.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Elaine.
It even sounds like Alan.
It does sound like Alan.
It does.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was great. I love it.
They're all back together.
For
The
now.
group's back together for
all
now.
in this together until season 3 starts.
Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, well, thank you for listening to this episode of The Queers of Time. An hour and a half just on an episode with no spoiler at all for the books.
Jesus.
I will probably lose about 10 minutes after postpone, but it's a nice episode. It's a long episode. I hope you will enjoy that. If you want to follow us around, we are on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, and that's pretty much it. And we have a Discord that you can join. And also, if you want to support us, we have a Patreon with some benefits. I don't know if they're nice or not, but there's some benefits on there.
I mean, the nice part is that when you are donating money to us, every time it debits money from your account, you get to say faggot to one person. You get one free F slur.
You get one free F slur and you get to say dyke. Those are your two. You get 2 freebies.
Yeah. No, if you just support at the $3 or $5 level, they alternate. But at the $10 or $20 level, you get one of each per month.
One of each. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. So consider that.
Consider that. And yes, so if you want to support us, please do, because producing a podcast is pretty expensive. And thank you everyone for listening. Bye.
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 Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.